we continue to fight this pandemic, but of course is an opportune time as well for the young voices. Well, let's begin top of 12 with some breaking updates coming in. This is as far as the Nagrota encounter is concerned. Now, as we were pointing out, that a matter of cross-border terrorism has now been taken up very strongly with Pakistan. Pakistan's EDA has now been summoned by the EMEA, the Ministry of External Affairs. India has convened its strong concern to Pakistan on the terror attack which was planned by the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Jammu and Kashmir. Of course, a strong process that has now been lodged by India demanding that Pakistan should stop supporting terrorists and terror groups operating from their territory and also dismantle the terrorism infrastructure. Remember that you already had the DCM who had already been summoned at 11 a.m. So India very, very categorical in terms of the message it wants to step out. Also registering its protest after this link, and which exposes Pakistan to show the link between Pakistan and the Nagrota incident, where of course 4 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists were neutralized. So of course India's strong protest over Pak terror. Pakistan must stop backing terror. That's what the message that India is sending out. As we pointed out, that the Pak deputy had already been summoned by India. So of course India being very, very categorical as far as India's position is concerned. Going across to our foreign affairs editor Maha Siddiqui, who joins us on this broadcast. Maha, as we were saying, after the summon, India is very, very clear in the message that it sends out, that Pakistan needs to stop supporting terror activities.
Absolutely, and that is why this is the second summoning that we are seeing in this week alone. He was also summoned on the 14th, and that was with regards to the unprovoked ceasefire violations that had been seen last Friday, just before Diwali. And it now appears that these unprovoked ceasefire violations clearly had a purpose. They were to provide cover fire for infiltration, and one such infiltration took place in Samba sector, and that is why we saw when the Nagrota operations were conducted, these terrorists were found with at least 11 AK series rifles and a lot of RDX. The truck driver had fled. The person who was considered to be the reception party providing that overground support for these terrorists. But all the other terrorists were gunned down. And now it has been revealed by agencies that these were Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists who were heading towards the valley. This is what is suspected to carry out a terror strike in the valley ahead of the elections, the district level elections. So the summoning today is specifically with regards to the Nagrota operations, and what they have revealed, that these were terrorists who infiltrated A from Pakistan, and B, that they were planning a terror strike in the Kashmir valley. So a strong protest has been lodged, Ridhima, and India has told Pakistan in no uncertain terms that this kind of cover fire that is being provided by the Pakistan army for infiltrations is absolutely unacceptable.
Right, Maha, other than the ammunition that was, of course, found, as you were pointing out, the latest evidence is the wireless radio set, of course, which has now been, found, and the messages that have been intercepted on it, which, of course, clearly once again exposes the link with Pakistan. So, of course, the second summoning to the Pakistan deputy envoy that's now happening. What more are you picking up? Are we expecting some more summons to be sent out from India's side?
Well, certainly as far as sending out a message is concerned, Ridhima, to Pakistan, that this is totally unacceptable, and a strong protest being lodged, that has been done in Delhi. Now, this can be replicated in Islamabad as well. India's charge d'affaires over there can do the same with the Pak Foreign Office. As of now, there is no confirmation that that's being done, but that is another level of protest lodging that is usually seen, Ridhima. But certainly this was important in the context that not only has the Pakistani diplomat been summoned about the unprovoked ceasefire violations in which 4 civilians were also killed. You remember those that happened last Friday. But now with the clear links being drawn by the agencies that these terrorists were also probably in touch with their handlers in Pakistan who were trying to get their location when they were in India and how far they had reached from their target. That also is part of the evidence. All this has been put before Pakistan to expose them and to show that this is the kind of support that is being provided by terrorists. Even as the FATF threat of Pakistan remaining in the grey list remains, even then we are seeing this kind of support that is being provided to the terrorists who are operating from Pakistan.
Right, Ma. Also, time and again, Pakistan, of course, has, openly and blatantly denied its role in any of these terror activities. But with more and more evidence that's coming out, it exposes the blatant lies that Pakistan is up to once again.
Absolutely, Ridhima, because every time such an act takes place, Pakistan comes back and denies any sort of a linkage to Pakistan itself of these terrorists. Even in the Pulwama terror attack, you remember the narrative that Pakistan had been constantly trying to showcase was that this was carried out by a local. Now, it may have been carried out by a local, but the support, the conspiracy, and all the ammunition that was provided was the background support that really was provided was coming from across the border. That is the point that Pakistan constantly tries to deny. But of course, now the FATF has been breathing down Pakistan's neck for the last 2 years. And Pakistan was expected to, in fact, live up to 27 agenda items, out of which in 2 years they have managed to fulfill 21 of them, 6 of them still remaining. And out of the 6, Ridhima, let's point out that 2 of them are certainly very important, seen in the context of India. First, that proscribed terrorists like Hafiz Saeed or Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar still find safe haven in Pakistan. They are treated with kid glove. And also the fact that many of the so-called non-profitable charitable organizations in Pakistan, like the Falah Insaniat or Jamaat Dawa, earlier on used to masquerade as a charitable organization, they continue to raise funds for terror activities. So funding of terror activities needs to be choked so that this kind of ammunition collection and support that they are able to provide to terrorists can come to an end.
Absolutely, man. That's the message that India is sending out, that Pakistan needs to stop supporting terror activities. Thanks for getting us all those details.
लॉकडाउन से कोरोना खत्म नहीं होता। लॉकडाउन ये अचीव करता है कि कोरोना को डिले कर देता है। जिस दिन लोग निकलेंगे फिर से केसेस बढ़ जाएंगे। दिल्ली के सब लोग मिलके, केंद्र सरकार के साथ मिलके, सभी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ मिलके शायद हम लोग 3rd पीक को भी पार कर रहे हैं।
Well, let's shift our focus to the COVID situation in the national capital. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has first put an end to all speculations regarding a partial or a complete lockdown in the national capital. Speaking at the HT Leadership Summit, the Chief Minister has asserted that a lockdown cannot be a permanent solution to tackle the COVID menace, and that his government was only mulling shutting markets if precautions and rules are not followed. He was also confident that the 3rd wave of the COVID-19 virus has finally ended and the decline in number in cases on a daily basis will also be the way forward.
एक सवाल ऑडियंस से भी आया है, मैं आपसे पूछने वाला था। If cases increase, is there any chance of a lockdown or a curfew?
देखिए, मैं अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग थोड़ी सी बता देता हूं। लॉकडाउन से कोरोना खत्म नहीं होता, लॉकडाउन से कोरोना समाप्त नहीं होता, एंड नहीं होता। लॉकडाउन क्या अचीव करता है? लॉकडाउन ये अचीव करता है कि कोरोना को डिले कर देता है। जिस दिन लॉकडाउन खुलेगा, जिस दिन लोग निकलेंगे, फिर से केसेस बढ़ जाएंगे, बढ़ेंगे, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि हर एक सरकार को अपनी हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को एसेस करने की जरूरत है। अगर हमारा हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कोलैप्स करने की दिशा में जा रहा है, मान लीजिए मेरे बेड्स खत्म होने वाले हैं और केसेस बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, मान लीजिए मुझे लगता है कि अब मेरे पास बेड्स नहीं बचे हैं, मुझे लॉकडाउन इम्पोज कर देना चाहिए। लॉकडाउन मान लीजिए 10 दिन का 15 दिन का मैं लॉकडाउन करता हूं, उस दौरान मैं अपनी हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को एक्सपैंड करने का मुझे टाइम मिल जाएगा। मैं और बेड बढ़ा लूंगा, मैं बाईपैप मशीन खरीद लूंगा, मैं वेंटिलेटर्स खरीद लूंगा, मेरे को जो जो चीज चाहिए मैं वो खरीद के ऑक्सीजन लाइंस लगा लूंगा, ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स खरीद लूंगा, जो जो मुझे चाहिए वो सारा खरीदने के बाद मैं और बेड्स इंक्रीज करने के बाद फिर लॉकडाउन खत्म कर दूंगा एंड देन आई विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड टू फेस मोर केसेस। लॉकडाउन खत्म करोगे केसेस बढ़ेंगे, तो इसीलिए लॉकडाउन हमारे सामने दो चैलेंज हैं। एक चैलेंज है कि हमें कोरोना को फेस करना है और दूसरा चैलेंज है हमें इकोनॉमी को बचा के रखना है। लोगों की हालत बहुत खराब हो गई है, लोगों के पास नौकरियां नहीं है, लोग किसी तरह से अपनी 2 जून की रोटी चला रहे हैं। अगर हमने एक और लॉकडाउन कर दिया बिना सोचे समझे एक हेस्टी रिएक्शन में, लोगों की जिंदगियां बर्बाद हो जाएंगी। तो ये बहुत वो है। मेरा ये कहना है कि अगर जिस दिन अभी फिलहाल दिल्ली में 7,500 बेड अवेलेबल हैं, दिल्ली में आईसीयू बेड्स हम अगले 2-3 दिन के अंदर 1,500 तक, 1000 से 1,500 कर देंगे। उसके बाद अभी हम हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को लेके ठीक ठाक हैं। अभी मुझे लगता नहीं है कि लॉकडाउन की जरूरत है।
Well, that's the word coming in as far as the Delhi Chief Minister is concerned, saying that a lockdown is not the solution as far as the COVID picture is concerned, because lives and livelihoods need to coexist together. So, of course, saying that no partial or complete lockdown will be implemented in Delhi. But let's quickly take you through some data to put into perspective what the COVID picture in the national capital is currently looking at. So, look at that. November 13th, you had 7,800 cases. Then, of course, we saw 7,600 till about November 14th, but then we saw a dip around 3,200, 3,700, all of this because of the low testing that we saw in the national capital as well. But then after that, of course, there has been a spike once again, 6,300 to 7,000 cases. But if you compare that data to the deaths, the deaths really haven't come down. After, clocking almost 100 deaths on an average, we saw a spike at 131 deaths on November 18th. Then we saw a dip again, which was under 100 deaths. But on November 20th, that death rate has gone back to 118. So, of course, the number of cases that we're seeing in the national capital, that actually, even if they're coming down, the death rate is not reflecting exactly the same. So, of course, what is the problem that's happening in the national capital? The Chief Minister saying that, there will be no complete or partial lockdown. Rupashri now joining us. Rupashri, of course, the word coming in from the Chief Minister is very, very clear. There will be no partial or complete lockdown in the national capital. Lives and livelihoods need to coexist together.
Absolutely. In fact, that is something that the Chief Minister has said, and before that, Deputy Chief Minister and Health Minister have also reiterated that there will be no complete lockdown, no partial lockdown, no mini lockdown in the capital at all. However, the capital is going through a third wave, and which has been called the most lethal wave so far of COVID-19. Now, what the government is doing is it is keeping a very close watch on the marketplaces. It is looking at the footfall in marketplaces. It is also observing and watching whether people are wearing masks or not, whether social distancing is being observed or not. So all the marketplaces and high risk areas are under watch of the Delhi government. The Delhi government has approached the central government and has sought the approval of the central government or the go ahead of the central government to shut down certain marketplaces if and when the Delhi government deems it is necessary. Now the clearance for that has not yet come. In the meantime, what the Delhi government has done is it has tried to win the confidence of the market association representatives and various persons and has tried to make them stakeholders. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain also specifically talking about the mortality rate in the capital today said that each and every person who is in home isolation is being monitored. Apart from that, door-to-door surveys are being carried out in containment areas, and not just in containment areas, they are also being carried out in high-risk areas. And he also said that in case there is somebody at home who may not have the symptoms or who may not even know that he has symptoms, essentially to scan the entire population over there and trace anybody who is at a risk of the disease. Apart from that, the government is also keeping a close watch in every government and private hospitals.
Yeah.
Teams have been formed both from the Delhi government and the central government to ensure that protocols are followed in these hospitals. All this is being done, remember, to keep the mortality rate down or to push it down further beyond the 1.58% that it has shot up to in the recent times. So that is those are the
Yeah.
steps that the Delhi government is taking now. But marketplaces, all the markets in Delhi are under close watch of the government, even if there will be no complete shutdown of those places right now.
So, of course, to ensure that, people maintain social distancing, masks are worn, even as the Chief Minister says that there will be no lockdown in the national capital. Rupashri, thanks for getting us all those details. Staying with the national capital, Delhi's Health Minister Satyendra Jain has echoed Chief Minister's words and said that the positivity ratio is coming down, proving that the third wave in the national capital actually might be over.
केसेस घट रही हैं बट मौतें फिर से बढ़ी हैं।
देखिए कल जो टोटल केसेज आए थे 6608 6608 केसेज आए थे और पॉजिटिविटी रेशो था 10.59%। तो धीरे धीरे नंबर ऑफ केसेज भी धीरे धीरे कम हो रहे हैं और पॉजिटिविटी भी धीरे धीरे कम हो रही है। परंतु इसमें आपको चीज़ बता देता हूँ, हमेशा वीकली एवरेज इज़ ए बेटर इंडिकेटर। तो वीकली एवरेज लगातार, अब ये छठा दिन है आज, तो वीकली एवरेज डाउन जा रही है। वीकली एवरेज नंबर्स में भी और परसेंटेज में भी डाउन जा रही है। नंबर से भी ज़्यादा है पॉजिटिविटी रेशो। पॉजिटिविटी रेशो 7 तारीख को 15% से ज़्यादा थी, 15.23% थी, जो कि अब घट के 10.59, तो 4% का जो डेफिनेट कह सकते हैं। तो अब डेफिनेटली कह सकते हैं कि भाई धीरे धीरे कुछ कम हो रहा है। जो डेथ है वो लगभग 1.5% के करीब है, दिल्ली में 1.58% है और नेशनल एवरेज भी लगभग इसके पास ही है।
Now, Arvind Kejriwal announced earlier this week that wearing mask is mandatory in the national capitals. But Delhiites, are they really following this rule? Our reporters were spread across the city and they bring you these ground reports.
राजधानी दिल्ली में जिस तरह से लगातार कोरोना के मामले बढ़े हैं, उसके बाद से चालान की जो रकम है उसको भी बढ़ा दिया गया है। मास्क नहीं लगाने पर, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग मेंटेन नहीं करने पर, पब्लिक प्लेस पे थूकने पर 2000 रुपये का जुर्माना लगाया जाएगा। और जिसको लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस ने पूरी तरह से कमर कस ली है। न केवल लोगों को जागरूक किया जा रहा है बल्कि लोगों के चालान भी काटे जा रहे हैं। गाजीपुर का नज़ारा हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं ऑटो वाला जो है ये पुलिस के सामने हाथ जोड़ रहा है क्योंकि इसने मास्क नहीं लगाया था और इसकी गाड़ी को अब जब्त कर लिया गया है क्योंकि ये 2000 रुपये का चालान नहीं भर पा रहा है। वहीं एक तरफ आपको दूसरी तस्वीर दिखाते हैं, यहाँ पर ये गाड़ी जो थी इसमें भी सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग मेंटेन नहीं हो रही थी, जो लोग बैठे थे, और इसलिए इस गाड़ी का भी चालान किया गया है। और यहाँ पर लगातार गाजीपुर थाने की पुलिस चालान बुक के साथ यहाँ पर मौजूद है, लोगों को जागरूक कर रही है और जो लोग मास्क नहीं लगा रहे हैं उनका 2000 रुपये का चालान भी काटा जा रहा है।
इस समय हम खड़े हैं दादर के सब्जी मंडी पर और आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर बीएमसी की टीम गाड़ियों को रोक रही है। जो लोग गाड़ियों में अकेला सफ़र कर रहे हैं लेकिन उन्होंने मास्क नहीं लगाया, उन्हें भी रोका जा रहा है, फाइन लिया जा रहा है। आपको दिखाना चाहेंगे बीएमसी के जो अधिकारी हैं वो यहाँ पर मास्क को लेकर सतर्क हो गए हैं। क्या कार्रवाई है, कब से ये कार्रवाई आपने शुरू की है?
सर, दिल्ली में कोरोना के पेशेंट बढ़ने की वजह से क्या बम्बई में हम लोग ने नो मास्क पेनल्टी कैंपेन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा तेज कर दी है ताकि कोरोना को अटकाव हो सके।
500 से जुर्माना राशि बढ़ाकर 2000 कर दिया गया है। यहाँ पर आप देखिए कि गाड़ी को रोका गया है जहाँ पर फिलहाल इनका जो चालान है वो काटा जा रहा है। जो शख्स यहाँ पर नजर आ रहे हैं ये बिना मास्क के यहाँ पर आए, जिनकी गाड़ी को यहाँ पर रोका गया है और अब इन्हें यहाँ पर 2000 रुपए का जुर्माना देना होगा। सर, आपको याद नहीं था कि आज से जुर्माना
नहीं है? मास्क में हर रोज पहन के निकालता हूँ। आज इतनी जल्दी था, मेरा मदर इन लॉ और वो आ रहा है स्टेशन में, तो मैं उसी जल्दी में मैं भूल गया हूँ।
लेकिन अब 2000 रुपया फाइन देना पड़ेगा।
हाँ जी सर, देना तो पड़ेगा ही, गलती किया तो उसका वो करना ही पड़ेगा।
तो यहाँ पर आप देखिए कि इनके साथ जो बैठे हुए हैं उनको फिलहाल मास्क दिया गया है ताकि वो मास्क लगाएं। वो तस्वीरों में आपको दिखाते हैं कि यहाँ पर एक को मास्क दिया गया है, हालांकि दोनों ही जो लोग थे वो मास्क लगा कर नहीं आए थे।
Now, COVID cases are on the rise across the country and several states are now taking measures to curb the spread of the pandemic. If you talk about both states like Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, they have imposed partial lockdowns in their respective states, while Section 144 has been imposed in Rajasthan. Night curfew will be imposed from today in 5 cities of Madhya Pradesh, including Gwalior, Bhopal, Indore, Vidisha and Ratlam. Movement in these cities will be restricted from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. As for Gujarat, night curfew between 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. also has been imposed in Surat, Vadodara and Rajkot starting tonight. In Ahmedabad, presently there is a complete lockdown, and from Monday, night curfew will be imposed in the city.
प्रदेश के 5 जिलों में पिछले सप्ताह से तेजी से पॉजिटिव केस बढ़े हैं। भोपाल, इंदौर, ग्वालियर, रतलाम, विदिशा, यहां कोरोना तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। इसलिए फैसला किया है कि 21 नवंबर की रात 10 बजे से सवेरे 6 बजे तक रात्रिकालीन कर्फ्यू इन शहरों में लगाया।
Bhopal, Indore and Gwalior, they were hot spots during the first wave also, and during the first wave these 3 cities are emerging as hot spots. And the Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has made it clear that he has no plan to impose lockdown, but these 5 cities have been covered for for partial night curfew from 10 p.m. in the night till 6 a.m. in the morning. This man is moving in this new market area, the most crowded place. आप यहाँ घूम रहे हैं, कोरोना दोबारा आ रहा है और आपके चेहरे पे मास्क भी नहीं है।
हाँ सर।
क्यों नहीं है?
सर मैं लाना भूल गया।
तो फिर आप ऐसे ही घूमेंगे, कोरोना लेके जाएंगे आज बाजार से?
नहीं।
हाँ?
मैं भी मास्क ले निकाल ही लूँगा।
आपने मास्क क्यों नहीं पहना?
भूल गया, घर में भूल गया।
आप घर पे भूलाओगे, कोरोना लोगों को बांटोगे या लेके जाओगे?
ले लो, अभी ले लूँगा, दुकान खुल अभी ले लूँगा, मार्केट खुल जाएगा तो ले लूँगा।
आज जहां तक अहमदाबाद में कंप्लीट कर्फ्यू और कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन का सवाल है, केवल आवश्यक सेवाओं को सुबह, अगर जिस तरीके से हमने रिपोर्ट सुबह की थी, केवल दूध और जो पानी, मिनरल पानी जो घर घर पहुंचता है, उन सेवाओं को चालू रखा गया। उसके अलावा आवश्यक सेवाओं में मेडिकल सेवाएं हैं, वो मेडिकल स्टोर चालू रहेंगे। मेरे पीछे आप देख सकते हैं ये अहमदाबाद रेलवे स्टेशन है, जहाँ पर जो रेल से यहाँ पर पहुँचे हैं, ट्रेन से यहाँ पर पहुँचे हैं, उनको अहमदाबाद के अलग अलग इलाकों में पहुँचने के लिए इस तरीके से बसों के ज़रिए व्यवस्थाएं की गई है। उनको अलग अलग जोन में बसों में उनको बिठा के अलग अलग हिस्सों में पहुंचाया जा रहा है। लेकिन अभी भी जो अहमदाबाद के बाहर, जो अहमदाबाद में होकर बाहर शहरों में जाने वाले हैं, उन्हें अभी भी दिक्कत हो रही है। उनको यहाँ से व्हीकल्स नहीं मिल पा रहे, उनकी दिक्कतें अपने जगह पे है। तो ये अहमदाबाद में आज सोमवार तक इसी तरीके का लगातार कर्फ्यू रहेगा, केवल आवश्यक सेवाओं को छोड़ के। जबकि सोमवार रात को 9 बजे से रोज़ाना तौर पे 5 शहरों में, अहमदाबाद, राजकोट, सूरत, वडोदरा में नाइट कर्फ्यू जारी रहेगा।
Well, of course, that's the latest coming in from places like Gujarat as well as Bhopal, where, of course, night curfew has been imposed. Slipping into a very short break, but before that, they're young, but their talent bellies their age. The signs of a genius can be spotted early on, and that they can excel in any field of their choosing. It can be sports to academics to arts to, well, just about anything. These geniuses could be in your inner circle or even beyond. If you do know about a child who has the potential to become a genius, all you need to do is register on news18.com/younggenius.